a bit wussy. It's a bit wussy. It's a bit light. It's a bit light. G'day cocktail lovers. I hope you've been keeping well. I hope you're ready for another Christmas themed drink. This is an interesting one that comes from a YouTuber who have just come into contact with. JohnDotDrinks is another person who does cocktails on YouTube, and he joined a Discord that a bunch of the YouTube bartenders have where we share ideas and whatnot, and he said this is a recipe in a steakhouse he works in. It's called Christmas in Kentucky, which is great. I know nothing about Kentucky and I don't want to make any silly stereotype jokes because I would be the ignorant one in that point, but this sounds really interesting. I'm going to improvise a little around the recipe, but I'll tell you what the original is and what I'm changing it to fits in my whole ethos. Don't be bound by recipes. Look at a recipe. If someone has decided that works, it's probably a good guideline, but you should have room to improvise. Be creative, experiment. You never know what you'll find out. We're starting off with 2-3 segments of mandarin. And here's the first thing I'm doing differently. The way they do it in this steakhouse is apparently muddle the mandarin in the glass. So it's all built in the glass. And they leave the sort of pulpy mandarin in the glass. If that's your thing, do it that way. I prefer a bit of a cleaner drink, so I'm going to do this in a Boston shaker, and I'm going to strain it. But if you want to build it straight in the glass, go for it. But I'm doing it in a shaker, so the first thing I'm going to do is add 2 to 3 segments of mandarin. The next thing we're going to add is some bitters, and we are going to do a mix, 2 dashes of angostura bitters and 2 dashes of orange bitters. And again, if you're building it straight in the glass, I'm putting it in my shaker. We're also going to add 1/4 ounce of a sugar syrup. They recommend a brown or raw sugar syrup. I'm going to use this sugar syrup I've made. It is made with raw sugar, and it's also got cinnamon and chai in it. But those spicy flavors, I think they're very much in the Christmas mode. It's really weird. Okay, I'm in the southern hemisphere, okay? In Australia, it's summer, but because we're a British colony, we inherited all these northern hemisphere ideas of Christmas. So all the flavors you associate with Christmas, we also associate with Christmas, even though in this part of the world, makes no sense. No sense at all, but we do it anyway. So a bit of Christmassy flavors with the sugar syrup, 1/4 ounce or about, what's that, 7.5 mils. The reason I went through the ingredients in that order is if you're building that in the glass, at this point you would muddle or at least mix those in the glass to make sure they're blended. Now I'm not even going to bother to muddle in my shaker because I pretty seriously mangled the mandarin while I was putting it in. So it doesn't need to be muddled, it's already partly pulverized. Now I'm going to add the booze. The recipe JohnDotDrinks posted said to use 1 ounce of bullet bourbon, which I don't have, and I like to use Australian products whenever I can. I'm going to use Gospel Rye whiskey. This is made locally where I live in Melbourne, and his recipe had 1 ounce of bullet bourbon. And I'm going to say, a bit wussy. It's a bit wussy. It's a bit light. It's a bit light. I looked at the spec and I went, that's a bit light on. I'm doing 1.5 ounces. You do you. I'm doing 1.5 ounces or 45 mils of whiskey. There are a couple of liqueur elements to this drink as well. Next up is some white creme de cacao. We're doing just 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of white creme de cacao. The final ingredient is an orange liqueur. The original recipe said for a triple sec. I'm improvising a bit, having a bit of fun, and I think it fits in because there's some actual mandarin in here. This is from Adelaide in Australia. This is called Mando. It's a mandarin cello. It's limoncello, but made with mandarin. So it's kind of in the same ballpark as triple sec, but also different. So I'm making my own thing here, but you go with what you have at your end, whether it's a triple sec, a curacao, even a Grand Marnier, something you like, an orange liqueur you like. I think this Mando goes well with the fact there's actual mandarin in here. So it's the same amount, going to do 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of orange liqueur. If you were making this straight in the glass, you would stir all the ingredients. Like I said, I'm choosing to make it in a shaker. So I'm adding ice, putting it together, bang it in hard, and I'm going to shake that for about 10 seconds. Now I'm going to strain this into a double rocks glass with a big old chunk of ice, and I'm not going to fine strain it. Like I said, I don't really want lots of the pulpy fruit in there, but given the original recipe I'm following leaves the whole mandarin segments in there, it's not going to hurt me if there are some little bits of fruit that get through here, so I'm not going to fine strain it. Just going to strain this over a big chunk of ice in a double rocks glass. I'm dropping in a dehydrated orange peel as a garnish. Again, apparently in the original steakhouse, they do a bruleed orange, which I assume they sprinkle some fine sugar over a fresh orange piece and then use a blowtorch to brulee it. I honestly not up to doing that tonight. So this is my Christmas in Kentucky. I'm gonna try it here in Melbourne, Australia. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Look, I'm not saying I really want to go to Kentucky for Christmas, but if this is what Christmas in Kentucky's like, I'm on board. Orangey whiskey, nice. This is a pretty good drink. I'm enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying whatever you're doing, whether it's a lead up to Christmas or whether you're watching this on Christmas to come up with ideas for drinks to have on the day. I like to share them with you. Hope you can share it with your friends maybe, or give me an old thumbs up. That's the thing YouTube likes to see. Interaction, engagement. Let's fool the YouTube algorithm. Whatever. I mean, I just hope you're looking after yourself. I hope you're looking after people around you as well. And until I do see you again, I will say cheers.